Okay, let's get right into it. What if I told you the real difference between the highest achievers and, well, everyone else isn't some complicated life hack? What if it's just 5 minutes? Five, that's it. A tiny window of time that can completely change the entire trajectory of your day before it even really starts. I mean, seriously, think about that for a second. A massive, day-altering result from something so small your brain barely even has time to object. That's the idea we're going to unpack here. But to really get why this works, you first have to see why most people fail. And, well, here it is. This number is just staggering, right? 92% of people who set morning goals or new resolutions, they fail. And not just eventually, they fail within the first month. It's a huge failure rate, and it just goes to show you that having good intentions, it's nowhere near enough. So what's the deal with the 8% who actually succeed? Are they superhuman? No, not at all. They're just strategic. They figured out how to use what neuroscientists call the morning window. It's this critical 90-minute period right after you wake up where your brain is incredibly open to forming new patterns. So you see, the secret isn't about having more willpower. It's all about timing. So that brings up the big question. Why does a 5-minute routine work when trying to meditate for 30 minutes so often fails? Well, it all comes down to the science of small, strategic wins. Now this is really fascinating. Research from Stanford's Behavior Design Lab found that any habit that takes less than 6 minutes has an 80% higher success rate. And why is that? It's because a commitment that small literally flies under the radar of your brain's resistance. It's too small to argue with, so you just do it. And that tiny win kicks off something brilliant called the success cascade. Dr. BJ Fogg came up with this term to describe how one small initial victory, like finishing this tiny routine, creates this ripple effect. It builds momentum that actually carries you into making better, more positive choices all day long. And we're not just talking about vague feelings here. The benefits are real and measurable. A major Harvard study found that people with a structured morning routine, even a super short one, were 31% more productive and had 42% better control over their emotions. These are not small changes, people. These are game changers. All right, the science is crystal clear. This stuff works. So how do we actually do it? Let's break down the exact 5-minute routine minute by minute. So here are the 5 steps. It's simple. Hydrate, move, gratitude, intention, and finally protect. It looks like a simple list, but the sequence is incredibly powerful. So let's dive into each one. Minute 1 is all about hydration. And I mean before your coffee, before anything. Your body is dehydrated after sleeping for hours. The neuroscientist Andrew Huberman explains that drinking about 16 ounces of water triggers something called gastric distension, which is basically a fancy way of saying it sends a signal that naturally wakes up your nervous system. Okay, minute 2, move. Now, hold on, we are not talking about a full-blown workout here. A UCLA study found that just 60 seconds of simple movement, jumping jacks, stretching, whatever, increases blood flow to your brain's prefrontal cortex by 14%. And that's the part of your brain that handles focus and decision-making. This is a process called kinetic priming. You're literally sending a physical signal to your body and your brain that says, all right, rest time is over, time for action. This simple little shift changes your entire physiological state for the day. It's like flipping a switch. Minute 3 is gratitude. But here's the secret. Specificity is everything. Don't just think, oh, I'm grateful for my family. No, get detailed. Thinking of 3 specific things you're grateful for has been shown to lower the stress hormone cortisol by a whopping 23%. Your brain loves concrete details, not vague ideas. Next up, minute 4 is setting your intention. And this is not a to-do list. It's about setting one clear, outcome-focused goal for the day. Just look at the difference here. I need to finish the presentation. Feels like a chore. But I will deliver a presentation that clarifies our Q3 strategy. That's a mission. It gives your brain a clear target to aim for. And now we've arrived at the final, and I would argue the most critical step of all. Minute 5, protect. A study from Microsoft found that checking your phone within the first 15 minutes of waking up can spike your stress levels by 47% for the rest of the day. Look at it this way. The first 4 minutes are about building a proactive, intentional mindset. This last minute is about putting up a shield to protect that mindset. Checking your phone first thing creates what's called attention residue. You immediately start your day in a reactive mode, responding to emails, notifications, and other people's problems instead of your own proactive agenda. So you do this once, great. But how do you make sure this becomes an automatic habit? Well, the real power here is how these steps are designed to link together, to form an unbreakable chain. This is a genius concept from James Clear's book Atomic Habits called habit stacking. See, the order of this routine is not random. The water makes you feel more awake and ready to move. The movement clears your head for gratitude. The gratitude puts you in a positive state to set an intention. Each step literally becomes the trigger for the next one. And while you're building this chain, you've got to avoid these 3 common traps. First, don't start too big. Just stick to the 5 minutes. Second, don't skip weekends. Consistency is what carves this habit into your brain. And maybe most importantly, do not wait to feel motivated. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. So, all this theory, all this science, it all leads to one very simple challenge. And it starts the second you wake up tomorrow. Here it is. This is your entire mission on one slide. Drink that water. Move for just 1 minute. Think of 3 specific things you're grateful for. Set one clear, powerful intention for your day. And the golden rule, do all of it before your hand even thinks about reaching for your phone. Because when you really boil it down, the gap between where you are and where you want to be isn't going to be closed by some massive, painful leap. It's closed by a small, 5-minute decision, repeated every day. The compound effect of those tiny, daily wins, well, it's completely unstoppable. So what's your first win going to be tomorrow?